It's a battle. Time to put your people in a trial. Ready to tackle.
Good afternoon and welcome to the mailbox. It is July 30, 2025. And with me is my co-host Kevin Bailey. I'm Courtney Morrison, and we've been doing this for the past 13 years. And indeed, it has been a great time. You're listening to Love 101 FM. You may be joining us by YouTube or Facebook because we're also live there. And indeed, our topic for today is overcoming emotional battles. So thank you for joining us. You could be elsewhere, and we appreciate you listening in, watching, wherever you are. Thank you for allowing us into your homes, into your vehicles, and everywhere that you are now located. Good afternoon, good morning, good day, wherever in the world you are. And so, indeed, we're talking about overcoming emotional battles. Let me tell you about overcoming emotional battles involve recognizing your emotions, developing resilience, employing coping strategies, and seeking support. Emotional battles are internal struggles with feelings like anxiety, depression, anger, grief, or low self-esteem that challenges your mental and emotional well-being. These are common and often stem from genetics, experiences, trauma, stress, and social pressures. Recognizing the signs such as mood swings, withdrawal, negative self-talk, and behavioral changes is a first step to managing them effectively. Biblical or spiritual practices, affirmation, and faith communities can provide encouragement and strength. This perspective emphasizes victory through active engagement and reliance on spiritual resources, and perseverance even amid difficulties. If you or someone you know struggles with emotional battles, consider seeking help from licensed professional or trusted support systems tailored to your needs. Remember, emotional challenges are part of the human experience, but with the right tools and support, they can be overcome. This is the program designed for men with guests who are men, hosted by it's aired everywhere on a public holiday at 5:30 p.m. right here on Love 101, the family station. It's a mailbox. Just remember, I'm and with me is my host.
Thank you, Courtney. Kevin Bailey here. To all our listeners, thanks for making Love 101 your station of choice. We're talking about the topic overcoming emotional battles. Imagine being told by your father at just 9 years old that you can't attend your mother's funeral because crying as a man in public is a sign of weakness. There are so many unspoken struggles, including childhood traumas and emotional battles faced by our Jamaican men on a daily basis. Today, we'll be having a conversation with our guests, grief counselor Dr. Marlon Simpson and Mr. Orlando Grant, author and hospitality industry supervisor, as they share about overcoming emotional battles as a man. Very important topic, Courtney, and some great guests that we have.
Indeed, very important topic that we're discussing. And our guest, as Kevin said, grief counselor Dr. Marlon Simpson and Mr. Orlando Grant, author and hospitality industry supervisor. Let me tell you a bit, Dr. Marlon, and then Kevin will tell you about Mr. Orlando Grant. Dr. Simpson is a licensed clinical psychologist that has successfully completed his doctoral studies with an emphasis on trauma and neuropsychology. Marlon worked at Bellevue Hospital, the Revamp Center at St. Joseph Hospital on weekends, where he conducts neuropsychological assessments and behavioral modification for patients who have had traumatic brain injuries. He's also a clinical psychologist at the Rehabilitation Institute of the Caribbean. Marlon is also working as a clinical psychologist with a company based in Belize as well as one in Beijing in China. In his private practice, he sees a range of clients, both adults and children, specifically creating treatment plans for children with autism spectrum disorder. The doctoral project centers on PTSD in patients. He is a proud father of two sons, Michael and namesake Courtney, to whom he has dedicated his life to raising well. That's it, Dr. Simpson.
Great, great. Welcome.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome, welcome. Great to have you. Let me just say a little bit about Mr. Orlando Grant. He's author and hospitality industry supervisor. Orlando Grant is a Jamaican author, speaker, husband, and father of three, currently serving as night manager at Jamaica Inn. Orlando is passionate about men's mental health and emotional healing. His debut book, Behind the Iron Mask: Unspoken Struggles of Jamaican Men in Relationships, was inspired by personal trauma, including being denied the chance to attend his mother's funeral at age 9 because his father feared crying would seem weak. Through this powerful work, Orlando sheds light on the silent struggles many Jamaican men face and encourages honest conversations about healing, love, and emotional intelligence. Welcome, welcome, Sir Orlando.
Thank you so much for having me on the #1 family station. I'm honored to be here today.
Courtney, we have two amazing guests, gentlemen. It's so great to have you with us, and really want to encourage the man them from Moran Point to Negril and all over the world to really just call a man, call the father and the uncle and the brother and the son and the brethren. Let them listen, because it's such an important topic as we look at emotional health and emotional states of our men and what can we have. Well, man and man, remember, we want to hear from you. We're live on Facebook and YouTube at Love 101 FM Jamaica. Remember, you can leave your comments via our WhatsApp line at 876-997-3125. That's 876-997-3125. Or call our studio lines 876-968-8327 or 876-968-8328. Also, we're on TikTok at Love 101 FM Jamaica.
Indeed, ladies, want to say, how do you handle traumatic situations that create stress, grief, and hurt in your life? And again, how do you handle traumatic situations that create stress, grief, and hurt in your life? You can participate in the program by leaving us a message via WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube. Females, please remember though, no calls or voice notes are allowed. Only text messages we accept. And just before we go to the shout out, I'd just like to send condolences to the family of my former classmate who died last night. Beaker Overturn Bridge, Mr. Garfield Batts, genius. His brother is David and Martin Batts. I think David is a high court judge here in Jamaica. And to the Kingston College family and the Batts family, our sincere condolences, and to the class, graduating class of which I'm a part of 1982. So man and man, indeed, as we talk about emotional trauma today, I know so many of you at the death of Garfield are facing it. I saw one young man saying he's unable to process this at the moment. But indeed, our prayers go out to the Batts family.
Wow.
Jeff.
Condolences, really, really sad to hear. Gentlemen, normally we have a little shout out where after the count of 3, we simply say Monday up. So we're asking you to join us. And even if you're not comfortable with the patois, we just ask you to agree with us on this one, right? We just want to make a statement that men are present. So at the count of 3, we'll all say Monday up. All right. 1, 2, 3.
Mandela.
Mandela! Yeah.
Monday!
Yes, definitely. Men are in the place. And so, man, as we say, you're in for a treat this afternoon. But before we head into the main discussion, it's now time for us to get into the segment that we dub Draft, where we preliminarily open the way to our main segment. We want to ask these gentlemen, our very special guests with us, the question: should we be more concerned about the emotional battles faced by our men? I'll start with Ricardo Grant, and then Doc will take it after that. Should we be more concerned about the emotional battles faced by our men? Yea or nay, Ricardo, and then state your reason or reasons for your answer.
Thank you. Most definitely, I would say we should be more concerned because it can lead to a lot of different things that we see now in our society. Absentee fathers, persons who do not know how to handle their grief properly, result in abuse of women, and and things just go on and on and on. So I think it's very important, and we should prioritize it a little bit more.
Thank you, Doc.
Right, definitely agree. Definitely agree.
And and Doc, sorry, you're muted, Courtney. All right, Doc, you're here. Oh, sorry, Courtney, you're muted. All right, Doc, I think we missed you a while ago. Yes. What is your perspective? Should we be more concerned about the emotional battles faced by our men? And depending on your answer, why or why not?
Yes, we should be very concerned about the battles that we face, because remember that men account for 80% of persons who complete suicide, but yet only 30% really seek mental health or any kind of support whatsoever. So it is definitely something that we need to pay close attention to, and have a more serious conversation on.
Wow, that's a frightening statistic there, Dr. Simpson, and driving home the point that we should be paying attention to this. We're gonna be going further and further into it. We're right up on our first break. This is the mailbox. Kevin and Courtney in the place, our very special guests, Dr. Marlon Simpson and Ricardo Grant. We go to the studio, then we'll be right back after this.
The time by Grace Good Move is
It's 5:47.
Brunswick, tuna the only option. Give me the one thing, no, me no want a fraction. Brunswick tuna, morning, night or noon. Me say me ready for the action. Brunswick tuna, they on me plate. Now they eating for dinner, now they morning for me breakfast. You can have it anytime, anyway, with couple slices of bread or crackers. What's convenient, taste good and affordable. Brunswick tuna, Brunswick love tuna. Me under the pitney in a school. Chunky Nile, spicy Thai chili, chunky water. Tuna, Brunswick tuna, snacking made easy, snacking made tasty, snacking made healthy.
We will be having the most fun ever at Jamaica's biggest one-day theme park, Funfest Family Festival. This Emancipation Day, August 1st at Hope Garden. Come enjoy over 50 exciting rides and attractions, live performances, our biggest food village, bingo, giveaways, and discounts galore from our fantastic sponsors and booth holders. Admission adults 1,500, children 3 years and over 800, and toddlers free. Funfest Family Festival, Friday, August 1st at Hope Garden, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Come out early.
This Emancipation Day, experience a night of powerful praise and purpose. CC Winans brings her More Than This tour to Jamaica with Chevelle Franklin, Kevin Downswell, Prince Saj, John Mark Wigan, hosted by IT Ellis and Nadine Blair. Gates open 2 p.m., showtime 5 p.m. Tickets at select outlets island-wide or online at spuropen.com. Follow at More Than This Jamaica on Instagram for updates. CC Winans, More Than This concert with a cause. Friday, August 1, Kings House East Lawn.
Heart NSDA Trust St. Catherine Parish Office, in collaboration with Spanish Town Learning Institute, is now accepting registrations for early childhood education levels 2 and 3, customer service level 2, phlebotomy, and more. Free CSEC and City and Guilds classes now available online and face-to-face. Don't miss out on this amazing opportunity to learn and grow. Visit 55 Brunswick Avenue or call 876-907-3915 for further information. Spanish Town Learning Institute. They are the best of the best.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man, I am a man. I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes.
Welcome back. This is the Mailbox, here every Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. on your favorite gospel station, Love 101 FM. Courtney Morrison, Kevin Bailey in the place, and our very special guest, Dr. Marlon Simpson and Mr. Ricardo Grant. So it's time we're going into the inbox. This is the segment where we dive further into, kind of getting to know you gentlemen, just a little brief history. I think I'll start with Dr. Marlon Simpson, you know, where you were born, where you grew up, what was it like for you as a youngster? Did you envision yourself being a clinical psychologist and doing all of this important work? And the same thing for Ricardo, you know, a little bit about your early childhood. It's Dr. Simpson.
All right. So yeah, born, raised in Jamaica, of course, running up and down on the streets as usual. I always wanted to do medicine. Always wanted to be in people's heads physically, but then end up being in people's heads mentally. Yeah, it was. I always had that history of working with people, of being, you know, just fascinated by how people think. And then growing up, I just found psychology and fell in love with it, and the rest is history.
Thank you so much, Dr. Simpson. And Ricardo, a little bit about your early childhood. Did you envision yourself being author and working at night manager and all of these wonderful stuff? You're muted. Oh yeah.
No. That is not definitely not. So I grew up in the heart of Kingston, downtown Kingston. You know, and I always dreamt of just leaving the ghetto, leaving, you know, the so-called inner city. That was my dream. You know, from ever since I have inspired to be bigger than my situations. The breakthrough for me is when I actually made it to the Jamaica Defense Force under the reserves, right? And then I started to venture into security on the side till I made it here. So it wasn't really in the cards. I just wanted to come out of the garrison, come out of the ghetto. And, you know, thanks be to God, I'm out.
Wow. That is amazing.
Ricardo. Yeah, just having some technical difficulties, so I'm going in and out. But gentlemen, it's great having you both. We time tends to go quite quickly. We want to get into the meat of the matter. Ricardo, you gave us a heads up that at age 9, you know, they talk about these emotional distresses, traumas. You had an experience where You were told it would be a sign of weakness to cry, even at your father's funeral. Help us with that and tell us a little bit more on how you overcame.
You're muted, Ricardo.
You're muted, Ricardo.
Okay, thank you for that. So I was saying, when I was 9 years old, my mom passed, and let me just say, I didn't have the best communication with my mom. I didn't have the best, kind of care because she was never there, because of issues with her and my dad beyond my control at that age. So she passed, and my father decided that he's not taking me to her funeral. When I asked why, he stated that men don't cry, and if he turned up, he's going to cry based on memories and all of that, and he don't want to be seen as weak or less of a man, less masculine. So he preferred to stay home, and I'll find a next way. So if it wasn't for my grandmother at the time, I wouldn't get the chance to say the final goodbyes to my mom.
Wow, very interesting there, Ricardo. Dr. Simpson, help us to unpack that. Is it natural for the father to do what he did? Man shouldn't cry, man shouldn't show weakness. So let's stay away from this funeral. Talk to us a little bit about that.
You do find that, yes, it is unfortunately quite a common thing where men stay away from the funerals, especially a person that they're really close to, or they prefer to stay outside and not necessarily engage the actual process itself. It is a common thing that people do because if you're crying, it's gonna show some kind of weakness, which isn't true. But there's that fear of being judged, that fear of being looked on as, oh, you're so weak, or you can't hold your emotions, and it counters everything that a man is supposed to be. But then what ends up happening is that when we don't show those emotions, we don't get them out in one way or another that's healthy, we find very unhealthy ways of dealing with it. And unfortunately, oftentimes it ends up in physical abuse of other people. Not always the case, but it does end up in that. Or, the use of drugs or other forms of ways to try to tackle and to deal with the difficulties.
Oh, so it really should be.
Dr. Simpson,
allowed.
before we go for, I just want to ask a question. What are there stereotypes out there? What are some of the major stereotypes we can witness when it comes on to talking about men being weak, that really and truly are just stereotypes and labels, and should they be so? What are some of those major ones we see in society today?
All right, so the stereotypes that we see that, of course, like we said, men don't cry. We see things like you don't show any emotions whatsoever, especially stress. The stigma that if you cry is a sign of weakness. So not showing emotions, being unfazed by different situations leads to you being perceived as a man in every sense. We see where persons try to do home remedies as a way to fix themselves, and it's when things go really bad, then we really try to seek some kind of support or otherwise. There are quite a few instances where the thought is if we drink or smoke it away, it all goes away. But it's an illusion. It only goes for a time. And then it comes back with a vengeance. It really hits home harder once you come out of that state. People are using all kinds of things now, which we can't even get into, but so many different types of substances, including embalming fluid, just to get a high, to escape. But when reality come back, that's where we try to escape it again. Can only run so far and no more.
Seems that there are just some devastating consequences if we have unhealthy ways of dealing with these things. When we come back, want Ricardo to share how did you process what happened to you? You know, were there some negative consequences? How did you try and deal with your early childhood trauma, as it were? So, but I know we have to take our second break. Courtney Morrison, Kevin Bailey in the place, and our special guest, Ricardo Grant and Dr. Marlon Simpson. So we go to the studio, then when we come back, we will go further into this topic.
I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man. I am a man, I'm gonna sing of the goodness.
Get your CC Winans tickets right here at Love 101, 81 Hagley Park Road. Don't miss out.
I'm Itana, and human trafficking is everybody's business. Call 1-888-PROTECT to report suspected cases of child trafficking.
The time by the Ministry of National Security is
6 o'clock.
This is a special announcement from Love 101 and Love Television. Our general offices will be closed to the public on Emancipation Day, Friday, August 1, and will reopen on Monday, August 4 at 8:30 a.m. Programs and commercials for the period Friday, August 1 through to Monday, August 4 should be submitted by 12 noon on Wednesday, July 30. Obituaries and notices by 1:30 p.m. on the same day to ensure scheduling for broadcast. Love 101 and Love TV wish for you and yours an exciting and memorable holiday.
I am a man, I am a man, I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man. I am a man.
Welcome back. This is the Mailbox here every
Welcome
Wednesday
back. Welcome
at
back
5:30 p.m.
to
Yes, here every Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. on Love 101 FM. Kevin Bailey, Courtney in the place. I think Courtney having a little challenge there, try and sort it out. But we have our very special guest, Ricardo Grant, Dr. Marlon Simpson. And Dr. Simpson shared that there can be just some devastating consequences if men try to cope with the stresses, the traumas, the grief, etc., in unhealthy ways. I wanted to find out, Ricardo, how about you? How did you process some of these things? Was it easy for you? What have you learned? And share with us why you wrote this book.
All right, thank you for that. Sure. So as a child, I started to go and do rude stuff, and everybody was wondering what's wrong with me, and all of that. My grandma, I remember my grandma normally coach me through everything, taught me through it, tell me because I had other questions too. Why did God take my mom at such a young age? And all of that start to come back to me, and I'm like, why me? Why my life? And not to stray from the topic, but I want everybody to understand that this was a very devastating moment when my mom died, because it was actually a Christmas. Oh. And is as if the Christmas Eve, my grandmother was a street vendor, and due to me, having me, she used to care for me, so she took me home that night. She normally have a thing what them call bleaching, where iglas stay out in the night instead of going home. Yeah. Right. So because I was there and I was very sleepy, she decided to go home, and trust me, the house burned down about 1:50 in the morning. Right. What? And then 1:50 in the morning, the house, we have to run out the house. The house set ablaze.
Oh,
And it
wow.
was said thereafter that it was a man of unsound mind playing with fire and caught the board. It was board structured, so
Yeah.
caught the houses on fire. And right after that, about 5 o'clock in the morning, my uncle came and told us all, my grand, while we were grieving the house and all of that, came and tell us that he just got a message that my mom passed in a car accident. So it was really a devastating time for me. You understand? So it's not until I didn't cope well though. I didn't. It's not until I get children of my own and starting to look deeper into other mental health issues and other emotional battles and things that men go through that I get the understanding and know how to cope without using substance abuse, without going out the way and doing things that is not normal. So yes, and then I started to scribble down a little thing in my notebook, on my spare time, and then hence come this debut novel.
Oh, thank you. That Dr. Simpson, yeah, you have to help us with this and our listeners, one trauma after the other, and he is young. Uh, I mean, just those who are listening now, as parents and children, what advice would you give so that they could cope with this level of grief? Yeah, help us to process that.
All right. Now, unfortunately, out of us as Jamaicans, we can identify with a lot of what was said by Ricardo, where it's trauma after trauma after trauma. And one of the things that defeat us the most is we have to bottle all of that inside, and we can't even get to talk about it. We can't even get to share certain things. And when we don't get to share, then it starts coming out in unhealthy behaviors. What I'm also and have been advocating against is parents telling their children, you can't be stressed out, you're too young to have stress. At the rate at which I'm having to unfortunately diagnose so many children with mental illnesses, it's a fact that children do have things going on. They do have stress, depression, anxiety. So one of the things then is continuing to give the children a voice. They may not be able to express it in grown-up terms or in ways that we can all appreciate and say, okay, this makes sense. But at least give them that voice, that opportunity to talk about what they're thinking, what are their thought processes. And if you notice, I avoided the word, what are you feeling? We don't have to say, tell me what you're feeling. It's tell me what's going on. What are you thinking about? What are some of the things that's running through your mind? It allows them that freedom to do so, but that comes over time. You can't just spring it on a child and say, hey, tell me what's going on, when you've had a pattern of just shutting the child up all the time. Giving them that voice allows them over time to find that confidence to say, hey, this happened at school, that happened, and I want to talk about it. Things as simple as the games that they're playing, they want to tell about every character that's in it and what this character says and what that character says. Entertain the argument. It's them vocalizing what's going on, even when they don't have the language for it. Also, giving them the space to be children. Yes, they are young. They may not be aware of so many things, but giving them the opportunity to express themselves. Don't tell them to stop crying. Don't tell them to man up. Hear what's causing it. You realize after a while of asking them what's happening, tell me what's going on, the crying decreases and they actually become more comfortable sharing things little by little, and they don't have to cry because they're not feeling the attention. It sounds very simple, but these are things that have made a lot of difference, especially as a father myself. These are things that I put in place, and it works for me.
Yes.
Every parent is different, but those are just some key things that we need to look into.
Doc, You know, it's so
Thank
interesting to
you.
hear.
Thank you so much, Dr. Simpson.
Yeah, it's so interesting to hear you talk about that because
Yes.
after what I wanted to ask was emotional trauma, stress. Is it gender specific? Is it age specific? Does that matter? And especially as it's a program for boys and men, you know, are men more greatly affected by emotional trauma? I've seen such statistics as 85% of who are inpatients in mental facilities are our men. You know, tell us a bit more about how great an impact emotional trauma has on our men and boys.
All right. I would be personally very quick to say that both males and females, can be
Are
exposed
you
to the
hear
same
me?
amount of stress. The problem is, yes, you hearing me?
Yes, I'm hearing you now.
Oh, all right. Right. So I was saying that I'll be very quick to say that I believe both males and females experience the same amount of stress. But the difference is that in based on clinical experience, females have a lot more avenues or feel a lot more comfortable sharing aspects of emotional trauma, things that they have been through. And so it makes it a little bit easier for them. We as males, again, we're looking at 80% of our males, not, or 70% rather, not wanting to talk about these things. They're not addressing certain things. So you can have 1 cup of lime juice. You add 1 cup of lime juice to 1 cup. You add 1 cup of lime juice to the next cup. You add water to one. It doesn't change the amount of lime juice. It changes the concentration. So with a male who doesn't have any filters or anybody to talk to, it's still concentrated lime juice. But a female now who has friends who can ease the pain, ease the tension, it's a lot less concentrated. It's a lot less aggression that you're going to be seeing. And so when you see a male blowing up or getting aggressive, it's not just something that happened today or yesterday. This is things that have been bottled up for years that's just coming out one time. And so there's usually that explosion of thoughts, of ideas, of aggression. Like, why the male so aggressive? It's not that. It's just that it's a lot of stuff that we have not dealt with that's just coming out one go. And then we just don't know how to deal with it. You know, we have a running joke. Sorry, one quick thing. We have a running joke in the medical field. You won't see a man coming into the doctor unless something is falling off.
Wow. It has to get that bad. Dr. Simpson, you kind of underscore the importance of support, you know, whether it's friends, families, seeking professional help. Ricardo, did you find it easy to get support? And what's your perspective on what that says? You know, that it's kind of hard on men to really seek support, to be heard, to be listened to, etc. What's your take on that?
Most definitely. I do believe in what Doc says. I do believe it. And I mention it strongly in my book also. And I have a quote that I use in my book. Men do not lack emotions. They lack safe spaces. So if a man have safe space where he can, you know, just be free and just release and talk what he's going through and all of that, it be way better. But men don't have the safe space. They feel as if they start talking to even a close friend, they will be judged, ridiculed, you know, misunderstood, you know, all of that. I have a gentleman asked me already, can a male get raped? And I said to him, yes. He said to me, no, you can't go so. But it does happen. But we men are going to be as, you know, We don't want to talk about that because a man a look and he say, woman rape me. No, sir. We're not going to talk about that. You understand? Because they are in fear of seeing weak and seen as less than a man and so forth. So I totally agree. And for me, the process of talking to somebody and all of that and coping, as I said, didn't work out for me until I have kids of my own and have to talk to my kids about things so they don't, the same thing don't reoccur. I put my kids in a space where they can't come to daddy and say, daddy, you know, so this happened to me. Yes, so it's until that time now I learn how to deal with my pain, my grief. And I have a very supportive wife that I can come to and talk to about anything. So that's it for me.
Awesome. Good hearing from you, Sir Ricardo Grant, Dr. Simpson. The idea of support and safe space cannot be, really sidelined. They are most important. We're coming up on our final break. Pastor Courtney Morrison here along with Kevin Bailey, with our two guests, Dr. Marlon Simpson and Mr. Ricardo Grant, author. We're going to come back after this final break and we're going to hear more. Where are some of these safe spaces we can find? How can our men express themselves freely and indeed get the support and help that they need? Soon come back.
I am a man, yes.
Hurricane season is here. Is your property underinsured? If your policy hasn't been updated in years, you are at risk. One hurricane and you could be paying millions out of pocket. Don't get caught off guard. Know your property's value. Talk to your insurance provider today. Check it, value it, insure it. Real value, real coverage. A message from the Insurance Association of Jamaica, protecting what matters most.
Remix the summer with Digicel. 100 lucky winners win $100,000 each. Plus surprises all summer. Gift a friend a plan. They could win $25,000. And the time by Digicel is now 6:15.
We're in the hurricane season and the hottest time of the year. But no worries, Lanco has you covered. By the way, you're covered with Lanco Cool Guard or Urethanizer roof coating yet? Use Lanco roof coatings to waterproof your roof and also benefit from a cooler home with our advanced Thermoflex technology. Get 10 to 20% discount on Lanco Urethanizer and Cool Guard roof coating island-wide this hurricane season. Lanco, your waterproofing expert.
I am a man, yes. Strong man, integrity man. I am a man.
Welcome back. This is the Mailbox, here every Wednesday, 5:30 p.m. on your favorite station, Love 101 FM. So we have our very special guest, Dr. Marlon Simpson and Mr. Ricardo Grant, Courtney and Kevin in the place. Just want to read one of our listeners say, good evening, gentlemen. 5 years ago, when my dad passed away, my smallest brother, who is a big man, didn't even come inside the church. When we went to the graveside, he stayed very far. He was very close to my dad. I didn't see him cry during the process. If I can remember, he didn't even carry his casket. Thank you so much, Jackie Cook, for sending this and sharing this with us. Really underscoring what has been discussed so far. Before the break, Courtney was mentioning, where do we find these safe spaces? Dr. Simpson, churches, workplaces, community. How do we help begin to find places for boys to men? What are your recommendations?
Thanks for that. Very, very good question. Safe spaces are all over the place. It doesn't have to be a physical location. As long as you have a few men who they know that there's certain things. Because we're not going to share everything with anybody. But if we find a space where we play some basketball or we play some football or dominoes or something in these different spaces. It can be at work, after work, it can be at church, after church. Just a space that persons can really just talk generally. And you'll find that once you start with the simple conversations, then they start getting deeper and deeper, and then the issues start coming out. Or what I find a lot of people like to do, which I have no problem with, use hypothetical situations. Well, I know a bridging that this and this go through, and it's really itself we're talking about, but you
That's
find
right.
a safer way to share certain things. Funny enough, when I was listening to Ricardo talk about safe spaces, even in my private practice, roughly 90% of the people that I see are males. Even at the hospital as well. It's mostly males who voluntarily come in and they want to talk, because one of the things that some of them were afraid of was, can I trust this person? Can I share certain things? And most importantly, will I hear it back? So, they'd come in, they tell, look at one or two things, they test it out, they check it back next week, and they realize that they're not hearing anything back. And then that's when the rapport really started building. So it is important to do that, have those safe spaces.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
sounds
Thank
good,
you,
Dr.
Doc.
Marlon.
I appreciate that.
Apart from us engendering or having a conversation with friends, are there any public institutions? Are there any of those spaces? I know I can tell you of one, Mogava, Men of God Against Violence and Abuse. We do that. Well, that stuff is done with them as well. Are there any other known institutions that our men can gravitate toward?
All right. I know I'm going to get a lot of raised eyebrows with this, but even places like Bellevue as well, it's not that once you come there, we're going to institutionalize you.
Yeah.
We have what we call, we have the U Park. U Park is where people, it's a literal park in Bellevue Hospital where people have been known to come and take their wedding pictures. They come and they have little ceremonies. We have ducks, peacocks, streams, everything. And you'll find that from time to time, staff members, persons, just ordinary persons from outside come in. There may be a domino game going on. There may be something, and I'll pass through or have a one-on-one conversation. And those are safer spaces as well. It's not a formalized safe space, but it's an avenue where persons can really come and express themselves. Off the bat, I can't think of other professional spaces for that right now that will be tailored specifically to men, but definitely there are created social spaces out there for men to engage.
Thanks, Doc. And we're gonna ask Ricardo to share. Did you find safe spaces from your own experience? Where are they? After putting Family Life Ministries, Choose Life, and some other institutions, and a host of community health centers where people can get first responders. They can go and share and get direction for help. Ricardo, did you find it easy to get safe spaces? And even now, what do you recommend for our boys and our men?
It wasn't really easy for the average man wanting to seek, emotional help. But for me, I found it in church. Sometimes I go to church, you have that church brother, you have that, pastor would, say what you're going through and whatever, you can discuss that. But otherwise, for the average man that doesn't go to church, or for persons who don't like crowded spaces, what we do for them, I would like society and Jamaica to really look look more in depth in how we deal with persons, even persons that we see on the road and we say they are mental. Some of them are not really. Some of them are just homeless, and how we deal with that really says a lot about us as a country. And I think we need to prioritize that more. All right. I really don't, know no other places really where, men can share, but I know for churches, community centers, and so forth. And as Doctor mentioned, even in your home, like myself, my wife is my biggest counselor. My wife is my shoulder. Once you can trust the person enough to relate and be real and be one with that person, trust me. That's it.
Very good, very good. I find myself these days telling some men that your tear ducts and glands were not given to you as a mean of aesthetics, but they are there for the purpose of crying and releasing some of the emotions and things that are pent up on the inside. Gentlemen, closing statements from you both on this issue of emotional trauma, stereotypes, safe spaces. Encourage someone who may be going through something at this moment. A gentleman, a man, who knows, probably having suicidal thoughts at the moment because him just can't bother. Life has presented itself too much, and this life as a man is too rough. Ricardo, you want to start, and then we close with Dr. Simpson.
I would say if you're a man out there struggling, just know that your pain matters, your struggles matters, and persons are out there that can assist. You just have to reach out and seek the help. All right? Stop thinking about men don't cry. Stop thinking about all the stereotypes. Men for be man for act like man. We jelly back, but no, nothing about all of that. Be strong, right? Just reach out for support, and trust me, somebody will support you. The first step is making the first move.
Thanks much. I appreciate that. I love that comment. Dr. Simpson, your comment.
My comment is echoing what Ricardo just said, but in addition to that, it takes a bigger man to ask for help than one who doesn't. And one of the things that a quote that I was thinking of is, we can't change the past, but we can rewrite the scripts for our sons, brothers, uncles, and even for ourselves as well. So, we really can't change what we experience, but we can change how others experience us, and what realities are possible for them as well. That's what I'd like to leave.
Oh, very powerful. Quickly, Dr. Simpson, then Ricardo. How do people get in touch with you if they need to reach you and so forth?
For me, it's very easy. Just Google me. Just Google me and you'll find me. I'm also at Bellevue, but I'm also at Loving Minds Associates Limited. I'm the director for there. So we have a website, lovingmindsassociates.com. Same thing on socials as well, and even via email.
Ricardo, how people get your book and so?
All right, for me, for those who want to follow my journey, I'm on TikTok as Militant Rhymes. I don't really use Facebook, but you can always reach out to me on TikTok, Militant Rhymes.
Any phone numbers, any contact numbers?
Contact number is 789-3201. 789-3201. And correction, I know that because we are using the Facebook platform, the name come up as Ricardo Grant. I haven't used Facebook in a while. So the name that I started with at Facebook is Ricardo Grant, but my name is actually Orlando Grant. All right, thank you.
Beautiful. Gentlemen.
Well, just want to say thanks so much, gentlemen. Really appreciate you, Dr. Marlon Simpson and Mr. Orlando Grant, for really coming and sharing with us this afternoon. I want to thank Jermaine Johnson, our producer, and Nico Angus for technical support. We end the show with this quote: "Adversity is always the partner of progress." John C. Maxwell.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for a wonderful program. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being open and vulnerable, especially you, Sir Orlando Grant. And indeed, I hope persons will purchase your book. That's it for our show this week. Catch you Wednesday, August 13, 2025. Same time, same place, inside the mailbox. August 6th will be our Jamaica's 63rd Independence Day. So we catch you on the 13th, as we will be on break next week. In 2 weeks' time. Monday. This was the mailbox.
It's Orlando.
Monday.
Orlando, what's the name of the book?
The name of the book is Behind the Iron Mask: Unspoken Struggles of Jamaican Men in Relationships.
Wonderful. Again, thank you so much, Doc. Thank you, Orlando. All the very best.
All right. No problem.
Yes. Strong man. Integrity man. I am a man.
You're tuned to Family Radio in Jamaica. We're Love 101 FM. The time is now 6:30 p.m. And it's that time of evening for us to bring you the temperature check and the latest weather report. Right now in Kingston, it's 26 degrees